Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it's PrinceWatercress for the Nintendo Entertainment System, first NES game that I've done in well over a year, and I'm glad to do one of these, albeit in post-commentary. Really interesting music, and it's known for being a very annoyingly difficult NES game, but it can be both annoying and difficult if you don't know what to do. And in case you don't know what you're doing in this game, basically the introduction said it all. UFO showed up in the city, kidnapped a whole bunch of people. One of them just so happened to be Gomez Adams, Fester's brother. And we can either start a game or continue a game, but since we just turned the game on, both will do the same thing, and we'll start here. And it's basically Zelda with a gun. When you press start, you'll have all these objects that you can choose from: bulbs, keys, vice grips. You also have a gun that's currently at level 1, and you will also get a whip later in the game. I will explain everything that you can get and use as they pop up in the game. For now, though, let's unpause the game and shoot at these little blueberries of death, because I have no idea what they are. And you could tell just from how the gun sounds at level 1 is really weak and terrible. It doesn't even go the full length of the screen. We did pick up a blue gun icon, basically a little black cylinder with the word gun on it in blue, to power up to level 2. It goes a little further, but it's still really weak. And we picked up another one, and we are now at gun level 3. This gives us this little sine wave shot. It shoots out these little orange boomerangs. And they do a little bit more damage, but you still don't want those. I'm actually going to power up my gun at the very beginning of the game, because I would much rather have the maximum powered gun at the get-go. And by the way, you do want to have at least level 3 gun before you take on all those frog enemies. The red and blue ones just pounce on you, but there are different colored ones that take a lot more damage and will actually attack you with either their tongue or projectiles, and I'll mention them when they show up too. We also just saw a pink gun icon. That is a downgrade. You do not want that, otherwise you will go down a level, but thankfully we managed to go up to level 5 pretty quickly. When you shoot at level 5, you have this little weird bola weapon, and it's pretty powerful compared to level 1. However, I still want to get the maximum level, because again, this game can be pretty nasty even early on. And yeah, you want to be careful moving around after you destroy something, whether it be a frog, a blueberry of death, or any of the other enemies that show up in the game, because you never know when you'll run into a downgrade for your weapon. You do not want to run into a downgrade, because the other levels are really bad. Also, it usually takes me around 6 to 8 minutes to power up the maximum from the beginning of the game up until I hit level 8, which is the absolute maximum. In case you guys are probably wanting to know about that. Also, we do get whip upgrades at the beginning of the game too, but we can't do anything with those. I might as well go ahead and mention the other icons that we've been picking up. There are bulb icons. We will use those to light the way when we go underground. There are keys, which lets us unlock doors. And there are little dollar signs, which act as money. We can use those at the hot dog stands in case we are low on energy, and we will refill our health. We don't have a lot of health right now. We just have 2, and the maximum is 4. And you really, really want the health upgrades. Thankfully, I know where they both are, and I will mention where they are and how to get them when the time comes. Also, I am talking unusually high today, and I apologize for that. I'm just really, really ecstatic to, 1, do an NES game for the first time in over a year, and 2, it's Fester's Quest. A game that I kind of diddled around with as a kid. Never really did anything in, never really knew how to play or beat. I just love powering up the gun and just destroying everything. And we are now at gun level 7. This gives us the little triangle-like projectiles. Now, level 7 it actually gives us this little sine wave, but at level 8, the maximum just shoots straight out. You may be wondering about the powered-up orange boomerangs and the powered-up bola. Basically, those are just faster versions of the level 3 and 5 weapons, respectively, level 4 and 6, that just go the length of the entire screen. I do like the bola ones because it's harder to miss enemies, but it still goes everywhere. And level 7 and level 8 does too, but level 8 doesn't do that as much as level 7. And as long as I know how to position myself correctly in narrow enough quarters, I can shoot at anything whenever I need to. Of course, there will be quarters that will be too narrow for me to use the gun at any level. So there is that to deal with. And it should be at this point in the video that I reach level 8. Leaves it off that very frog at the end. Nope, it's got to be the next pass then. So we got one more pass. And you're probably wondering why in the world I did this. Well, a couple years ago, back in 2012, I actually managed to find a Let's Play of this game by this little-known Let's Player named Plastic Alan. And he managed to do a guide for this. I'll do a little walkthrough for this, if you will. I don't know why I call it a guide. Though, in all forms and purposes, it might as well be one. And turns out, the game wasn't as bad as even the Angry Video Game Nerd makes it out to be. Alright, we are now finally at maximum level of 8 for the gun. You want to be very careful as you shoot things because you never know when those downgrades will pop up. Now that we're done powering up the gun, we're going to go south here, shoot down more blueberries of death. And that little area to the right, where all the dirt is, we want to go in there. Everything else is basically just a dead end. The red ones take a little more damage than... Not the red ones. The blue ones take a little more damage than the red ones. I'm talking about the frogs here. As well as those little floating heads, just pass by them. If you shoot them, they shoot out these little flies, and if they touch you, you'll be slowed down. Also, there's a hot dog stand. Just equip the money by selecting it on the pause menu there. Press B when you're right in front of it, and you'll refill your health for 5 monies. And by using a key to unlock the door that I just opened, we get to see Pugly, and he gives us some TNT. We have 36 of it. All you have to do is just equip it by selecting it on the pause menu, press B, and it'll either explode on its own after a while, or it'll explode when an enemy runs into it. Also, Wednesday gives you vice grips if you unlock this door. Remember those flies I was talking about that you would trigger if you shot at those little floating heads? Well, they do disappear on their own, or if you shoot them. But if they touch you, they will slow you down, as I said before. But if you select the vice grip and press B, you won't be slowed down anymore. That effect is permanent until you use a vice grip. And we are now in a sewer. By going to a flight of stairs and pressing B, we'll enter the little sewer area. And by selecting a bulb and pressing B, we'll light the way. Of course, it'll be dark if we go back in there again. Also, don't go right there. That's a dead end. Just follow the path that I'm following. Now, here's the reason why I got the gun maxed out to level 8. It's because of all those stupid slimes. Now, you could lay those TNT down, but there's a chance they could respawn, because the way the enemies respawn in this game is really weird. You may not get the same enemies that I'm getting at the points that in the level or the world that I'm at. Like, you may not get, like, the green frogs, you may not get slimes in a certain position, other enemies might pop up, that sort of thing. It still takes a lot of shots to get rid of the green frogs, which will attack you with their tongue, but as long as you keep firing and just don't relent on the shooting, you should be good. Now, these little slime enemies will stop multiplying after you shoot enough of them. You gotta be very quick on that. And you also want to be sure to watch out for any gun downgrades like that one that just popped up there before I off-screened it. Because you never know when you might find a downgrade littered amongst all the monies and the keys and the bulbs that you did. Also go up here in case you find a frog and if you find a frog, you might want to shoot it there. Yeah, as I was saying, you want to be careful when you shoot the slimes because you never know when you might find a downgrade for the gun that you don't want to grab and nestled between all that money and the keys and the bulbs that you want to pick up and use for your adventure. Very straightforward path after the dead end that we just moved away from. Just be ready to shoot stuff down. Also, you want to make sure your gun is in the center of the corridors you're in. That way, your entire projectile will actually shoot out and you can destroy enemies efficiently. Also, when you come out of the sewers, you want to move all the way to the left and you want to go to this house. We actually walk up to a ladder in the sewers, and you want to walk up to it and press B in order to get out of the sewers and end up over here. By unlocking this door, Sing will give you potions. You can carry up to 5, and whenever you select one from the pause menu and use it with the B button, you will refill all of your health. Tiring myself out from doing all this post-commentary already. Man. Yeah, you definitely want to go left before you take this little cobblestone road because you definitely don't want to miss out on the potions. And that's how you use the vice grip. Thankfully, he didn't damage me. I thought he did. That's why I walked towards that hot dog stand that are right there to begin with. But then I realized he didn't even hit me, so I just went straight towards the house. I don't like the green or the pink frogs. The pink frogs will actually shoot projectiles at you, and they will slow you down. You will have to use a vice grip. Also, these little bugs here, they will jump whenever you shoot the gun, regardless of whether or not you aimed it at them or not. Use the key to get into this house. When you enter, go 2 steps forward, turn left, go 3 steps forward, turn left, then go to the dead end in that little part of the corridor there and press up to get an extra health point. From there, you can either retrace your steps and go right back to the door that you just came in from, or you can go left and follow the path there to exit to the side, which is what I just did. That's basically the first building in a nutshell. Other ones will be pretty different. They won't contain an extra item for you to pick up. And you will have to fight a boss when you make it to the other side. Thankfully, I will tell you how to get through those houses as well. In the meantime, you want to go over here, and you want to make your way all the way up to the upper left part of this area, this little forest maze here. Unlock the door, and you will get invisible potions. This is a typo, believe it or not. Instead of making you invisible, it makes you invincible. It makes you impervious to any damage. Just like the healing potions, you can only have up to 5. And now you can finally go down this little staircase here. Let's go ahead and use another bulb, because we're in the dark again. And let's go ahead and follow that path. And already I'm getting blue frogs here. Now, in this really wide open area, you want to go up and to the right. And in case any green or pink frogs show up, you want to avoid them, because those things still take a lot of damage. And whenever you can avoid an enemy, feel free to do so. Not all the battles are worth it, folks. And you may get an extra enemy that's supposed to be in the little dirt area right there to the right to pop up somewhere in this path. You may get him, you may not. If he shows up, I will tell you about him. If not, well, I'll tell you what he does when he does show up. And here, you want to go to the right and then down, even though this is a complete circle, in case a frog shows up. And of course, we've got another slime. Well, let's go ahead and take care of him. I like shooting these guys down, and sometimes, like, right where the enemy will spawn, and then another one will show up, like, right where it's supposed to. Also, 2 downgrades that I'm going to miss out on completely. And just like that, I was pretty much at the point where if I stood still long enough, that slime would have respawned. Also, no gun downgrades. So, I'm able to get all that stuff that the slimes left, for once. Yeah, you definitely don't want to pick up any downgrade, because that can seriously ruin your game, and you have to spend all the time you can farming for an upgrade, and trust me, it gets really, I wouldn't say really, really hard, but it does get noticeably difficult the later you get in the game. And by getting all the way over here, you'll end up at this building again. You can use the Blueberries of Death to get some power-ups if you need to, but you're better off just going into this house. Or this building, wherever it is. From here, you want to go 7 steps forward, turn left, go 4 steps forward, 2 left, turn left, 2 steps forward, turn right, and then follow the path to the end. So that's 7 forward, turn left, 4 forward, turn left again, 2 forward, turn right, and then follow the path to the door. And you want to equip your potions, because we're going to face a boss. And this guy will just attack you with his little whip arms. When you see his left arm move, that's your chance to center yourself so that you don't get hit by either of these arms. He's also going to hit you the same way. Left, right, right, and then both. He always lifts his left arm before he hits you with the second right, just to mess with you. But he always does it the same way every time. So, once you get used to the fake out, he's really easy to beat. And I get better at this, honest. You do have the gun to shoot him down, so whenever you get yourself centered, just face towards him and just keep shooting him as much as you can. Always helps to have the maximum powered gun. Those 3 columns worth of pink triangles of death just to shoot at him with. When you get all the way to the right, you actually want to get him to swing the arm, the left arm, and then when he swings to the right, you want to go all the way to the left. Then you want to bait him to the left and then get ready to do the whole dodging thing again. It takes a little while to get used to it, but it can definitely be done. And after plastering him with so many shots, he finally goes down. Had to use a few potions, but it was so worth it. And once we're done with this boss, we can't go back to any of the previous sections. All we can do is just go down these stairs. Also, whenever you beat a boss, any items you have other than that aren't bulbs, keys, or money will be instantly refilled. We are now back to 5 potions. And I know I'm back to 5 potions after beating that boss because I used like 2 or 3 beating him. So keep that in mind whenever you beat a boss. You could also go to the houses you got them in to refill, but again, once you beat a boss, you can't go back to previous sections. Anyway, that's it for this part. Join me next time where I take on some more bosses and try to save Gomez. So until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!